This is CBS.
Channel 2 News is next tonight. One man's million-dollar gamble. It is frantic in Chicago's commodity pits. Tonight, how a one man slipped inside and sent the markets plunging. Also, dazed and bleeding. Tonight, the search is on for vandals who threw rocks from an overpass and onto a busy expressway. Then Michael Jordan's high-stakes games. Tonight, we'll show you what Michael laid down on a game of golf. Next.
Live from WBBM-TV Chicago, Curtis, McLennan, McFerrin, Baskerville. This is Channel 2 News.
Good evening. Bill is off tonight and Lester Holt is sitting in. They bet big to win big, but not everyone is allowed to play the game. And tonight, one of those unauthorized players has lost $1 million. The way he did it is now under federal investigation. This is where it happens, the Chicago Board of Trade. To the uninitiated, it all looks and sounds like a jumble. But it's a place where billions trade hands every day. But early this morning, in the Treasury bond trading pit, where the action is fast and the stakes are high, somebody apparently was not playing by the rules. Channel 2's Elizabeth Vargas is here with the latest. Elizabeth.
Linda, tonight the FBI, the U.S. Attorney's Office, and the Board of Trade are all investigating what looks to be a rare and illegal incident. Two visitors on the trading floor may have illegally tried to signal trades to a single unauthorized trader. And that may have caused a frenzied sell-off that could cost customers millions of dollars. The Treasury bond pit. It's known as the big money pit. Today, someone lost big money after a series of possibly illegal trades. A trader not cleared to do business in the T-bond pit somehow got in early this morning and started doing business.
He did not have authorization to be trading in that pit, and he placed a very large bet that the bond market would drop. And instead, the bond market went up. He tried to start selling in this enormous position that he had accumulated, and that drew the attention of the officials at the board, and he was physically ejected from the floor.
The trader lost at least $1 million with his bad bets and started a massive sell-off when other traders saw him trying to unload so much so fast. That in turn caused a drop in Treasury bond prices and possible losses of millions of dollars to legitimate clients. There are also unconfirmed reports that the trader in question may have been doing business for customers who were on the trading floor as visitors at the time. That too goes against all procedure, and that too could be under investigation. The Board of Trade said tonight we do not tolerate any improprieties in our markets. We take quick action to investigate. Traders tonight are shocked anyone could get into a pit illegally, much less pull off such massive trades.
In the pit, those traders who are clearly authorized to trade have their trading jackets and their trading badge. And no other trader, no other local or broker will trade with someone who's not authorized.
Very hard to believe. It's very difficult, like something like this could happen.
The unauthorized trader reportedly works for Lee B. Stern and Company. That company could wind up having to absorb some of the losses caused by the unauthorized trades. It is still unclear why the trader made these unauthorized trades and what penalty he may eventually have to pay. Linda and Lester.
Elizabeth, thanks.
Cars rushing down the Dan Ryan Expressway. Some are heading home, others are out on business. All are unaware they're heading for big trouble. Tonight, police are searching for a group of teens who threw bricks at those cars and almost caused a deadly pileup. This is what the victims saw as they came around a turn on the Dan Ryan Expressway. They couldn't see the danger lurking on the other side of the bridge up ahead. 4 teens were waiting there, ready to attack with rocks. And this is what those rocks did to one of the drivers. This woman was still in pain tonight as she left the hospital in a wheelchair. Channel 2's Mike Parker is here with more on the attack and the people who found themselves in the wrong place at the wrong time. Mike?
Lester, Illinois State Police tell us tonight there have been several incidents of rock throwing along area highways in recent weeks, and they say they've been trying to keep an eye on some of those spots. But today's attack was the first at this location. There was no surveillance underway when it happened. If you drive in Chicago, you've probably used the winding access road to get from either the Stevenson or Lakeshore Drive to the southbound Ryan. It has something of a blind curve before it winds south. The culprits used that to surprise their victims. One of those victims, Barbara Martin, was still in pain tonight as she left Mercy Hospital.
I'm feeling very tired and very sick.
very weak. I'm hyperventilating, of course, of what happened.
The four young men were standing in this concrete area just a few yards from the oncoming traffic. It was from here that they pitched their bricks, chunks of concrete, and rocks, perhaps even a ball bearing, at the traffic coming directly at them, virtually at point-blank range. Witnesses say the culprits were 17 to 20 years old. One wore a blue and yellow jumpsuit. Another wore a blue windbreaker. Evidence of the potentially deadly attack was easily seen scattered all over the roadway. Police also found a ball bearing they think might have shattered the window next to Barbara Martin. 7 vehicles in all were hit in a matter of a few moments, including a limousine carrying morning radio DJ Doug Banks.
If anybody would have been sitting in the passenger side of this car, probably would have been dead. And if they would have aimed just a little bit more, he probably would have been seriously hurt. So no, I don't think there's anything funny about this at all.
And a Bridgeport woman tonight says someone pitched a rock at her van last night on the Stevenson Expressway near Damon. And you can still see the rock is right in there. The rock. Yeah, the rock is still in behind the broken plastic.
There is a problem out there. I mean, it's dangerous to be driving in expressways or anywhere for that matter on the streets. With people, they have no concern for someone else's life. They just throw objects, and it could be something very serious.
A passenger in one of the cars hit today jumped out of the car and ran after the youths, but he says they took off and disappeared, probably into the streets and alleys of nearby Chinatown. Those 4 young men are still at large tonight. Lester and Linda.
Okay, Mike. Heroics in the O'Hare Tower avert a close call, and tonight the student pilot of a small plane has a lot of explaining to do. The single-engine Cessna, similar to this one, took off from Midway Airport this morning, flying under visual rules, meaning he was on his own as long as he stayed out of O'Hare's airspace. He didn't. Tonight, sources tell us the pilot, who was not in radio contact with O'Hare controllers, became confused. He flew to the northwest toward O'Hare in the flight path of a departing United Airlines plane. A sharp-eyed controller quickly ordered the United plane to turn. His actions prevented the 2 planes from closing below minimum separation standards. Still, the pilot of the Cessna could face a fine or other action by the FAA for violating O'Hare's airspace.
A teenage boy walks home from school with a friend in a Chicago neighborhood that often does not make headlines. Suddenly, a car pulls up and shots ring out. When the air clears, another 15-year-old Chicago boy is wounded in a drive-by shooting. Tonight, police at the scene are using flashlights to search for evidence. They're canvassing the neighborhood looking for anyone who can help them find the people who pulled the trigger. Channel 2's Jim Avila is live at the scene with the latest on the search for suspects. Jim?
Linda, the young boy, 15 years old, didn't have a chance to run away, didn't have a chance to cover up. One shot killed him, one shot hit him right in the throat. He is now in critical condition. He was hit by this chain link fence. He was walking home along this street, 103rd Street, when the shots came out of this wooded area, which conceal railroad tracks. Police know where the shots came from. They do not know who fired them. His bloody starter sports jacket crumpled on the street, evidence of a vicious shooting. Flashlights through the trees from detectives searching the nearby railroad tracks for clues, but they find few. A 15-year-old boy, Sidney Brunell, a sophomore at Brother Rice High School, gunned down as he walked home just before dark.
They said he was on his way from school and it was drive-by shooting. They shot him in the neck, I understand, and he said he was in fair condition.
Witnesses in the neighborhood told detectives they heard only one shot. This used to be a quiet place to live. Now it's hit far too often with random violence. This 27-year veteran of the neighborhood says he hears gunshots far too often.
It's really sad that babies are being blown away. Wars are bad enough. Like we have combat right here in our backyard.
Yeah, the war's not overseas anymore, is it?
No, it's right here.
Once again, the 15-year-old boy is in critical condition at Christ Hospital in Oak Lawn. We're told now by the police department they expect him to survive. Live in the South Side, I'm Jim Avila, Channel 2 News. Linda?
Jim, thanks. A thick cloud of ammonia rises in the sky. An entire town is evacuated. Tonight, firefighters in Fargo, North Dakota work to control a potentially explosive situation. The ammonia started leaking tonight from this tractor trailer. Firefighters doused it with water, trying to prevent a deadly explosion. A thick cloud of ammonia began to form, and that's when residents of this small town were asked to leave. 3 people were overcome by fumes. They are hospitalized tonight. That leak has now been plugged.
Up next, Michael Jordan throws his money away.
Tonight, the Bulls superstar leaves a North Carolina courthouse after explaining how he lost $57,000 in one afternoon. Also, the Long Island Lolita. She shot her lover's wife. Now prosecutors decide if he will be charged. Then he starred as the sheriff in Blazing Saddles. Tonight, a Hollywood pioneer is gone.
Just one doggone minute here.
Smart Chicagoland homeowners know a new kitchen from KDA is one of the best ways to improve the value of your home. At KDA, you'll find full-size displays featuring the newest Marilat styles, time-saving Marilat features, and brand-name appliances. KDA gives you professional design, delivery in just 2 days, and all at a great price. You can find the value you've been looking for at KDA.
If you're going to win the big game, you got to win the individual matchups. Now, let's look at this play.
Hey, Mike, Electric Avenue at Montgomery Ward sure knows what it takes to crush the opposition. Take Best Buy. There's no competition, especially when Electric Avenue will beat any Best Buy advertised price guaranteed. The price on this tap and washer and dryer is a sure TD. And check out this 19-inch remote TV or 4-head VCR, your choice for $199. The fans know a winning team when they see one, Mike.
It's great the way Electric Avenue does whatever it takes to crush their opponent.
Beaches of the Cayman Islands, we knew we'd found the island destination we'd been searching for.
The Cayman Islands. You walk like an angel, walk like an angel, talk like an angel, but I got wise. You're the devil in disguise. Yes, you are.
Just when you thought you knew everything about Volvo.
Yes, you are.
Grant came over to help, and Jordan with a steal.
He's known for his amazing plays on the basketball court, but tonight Michael Jordan is making headlines in court. Under oath, Jordan is testifying about his well-publicized wagering on the golf course. He takes the stand in a drug and money laundering trial of a former friend. Jordan describes the gambling habits that got him in trouble, and he reveals why he tried to disguise a $57,000 debt payment as a loan. Channel 2's Jay Levine is in Charlotte, North Carolina with the latest.
Michael Jordan's day in court was a short one. He spent a lot less time on the witness stand than he does on the bench at Bulls games, and that's not very much. But the few questions he did answer shed new light on his gambling debts and how they mounted so rapidly.
Michael, why did it take you so long to tell the truth?
Leaving the court after testifying, it was clear Jordan couldn't wait to put it behind him fast. Normally, he's patient with reporters, but there'd be no post-game interviews today. On the witness stand, he looked uncomfortable when he talked about the high-stakes golf matches, which led to checks like these. More than $100,000 lost in golf and card games. What were the stakes, he was asked in court today? Anywhere from $20 Nassau to $1,000 Nassau. $1,000 Nassau means $1,000 for the first 9 holes, $1,000 for the second 9 holes, and $1,000 for the full 18. Doubling the bets when you get behind. It adds up fast. And even Bowler, when the story broke, was sympathetic.
He's always had a good heart, respected every man as being a man, and the gambling situation, the only thing that I can say about that is Michael have to deal with whatever he feels is right or whatever he feels is wrong.
At first, both Jordan and Bowler claimed the money was a loan for the Charlotte area pro to build a driving range. Today, both admitted that wasn't true. Jordan describing the $57,000 check as a combination of golf losses to Bowler and poker losses Bowler paid others for him. And Bowler testified today it was he who suggested to Jordan that they call the check a loan, if anyone asked. Jordan was mobbed by reporters when he arrived and when he left. But it was up to the first father of basketball to explain what his famous son was going through.
The only painful thing about it was the fact that people, regardless of how it comes out, people's going to look at him and say, well, you know, he's a gambler, this, that, and the other. And, you know, really what he did, goes on every day, on every golf course in America.
Michael Jordan said in court today that the reason he didn't come clean immediately was that he was embarrassed. But clearly, the changing stories from month to month, the mystery, may well have made this court appearance a lot tougher than it would have been had there been one story from the start. In Charlotte, Jay Levine, Channel 2 News.
She's known as the Long Island Lolita, a New York teenager seduced by a man almost twice her age. Tonight, prosecutors have decided not to charge him with any crime. This is 16-year-old Amy Fisher. She pleaded guilty to shooting her ex-lover's wife in a jealous rage. Prosecutors hope that she would then testify against her ex-lover, Joseph Buttafuoco, if they decided to charge him with rape. But tonight, prosecutors revealed that they are dropping their investigation of Buttafuoco.
I'm just overwhelmed by this whole deal. I really am.
The truth came out. We always knew and had faith the truth would come out.
It's not that kind of jail.
Fisher's credibility was seriously undermined when she was secretly recorded on this videotape talking about the case with another boyfriend. Fisher is now hospitalized after trying to commit suicide. Actor Cleavon blazed a trail of success when he played the black sheriff who cleaned up a town in the movie Blazing Saddles. Tonight he is being remembered as a pioneer in the movies. Little died today in California from colon cancer. He played a Palomino-riding railroad worker who teamed up with gunslinger Gene Wilder in Blazing Saddles. He also appeared frequently on Broadway and in television. Cleavon Little was 53 years old.
If you've been wondering where summer went, we think we found it. It's in Harry Volkman's forecast coming up next.
Also tonight, the space shuttle Columbia orbits the Earth, but the astronauts have something else on their minds. The World Series. Find out why they were cheering and then jeering tonight in space. Then singer Elton John goes to court to try to stop a nasty rumor. It's all still ahead.
When you come into a new Just Tires store for new tires, you get fast service, in addition to the great prices and selection. In fact, if they don't mount your tires in 30 minutes, they'll take 20% off the price of the tires. So for great tires, fast, come to Just Tires. You'll drive home happy. Boy, these guys are good. Just Tires. Just plain smart.
And now over here, this chair, we don't sit in this chair. It's priceless. And if you did, you'd tip right over. This piece is called Angry Clown. What more can I say?
Retirement home. It's a leisure village.
One free 10-minute call a month, every month for an entire year.
There are lots of people here. I just have to meet them, that's all.
2 free hours of long distance in all.
Well, it's just a friendly game of dominoes.
It's MCI's gift to all friends and family members, even those who join now.
Al, would you believe this? I'm dating.
To accept this gift, call and tell us which member of your circle you'd like to call free. Name each other and get 4 hours free.
It's the most innovative and exciting lineup in our history. Introducing Jeep and Eagle for 1993. See the technically advanced new Jeep Grand Cherokee and the sophisticated new Eagle Vision. Get a Cherokee Sport for less than you ever dreamed possible. Or jump into fun-loving Jeep Wrangler at a price like this. But whatever you do, don't miss the 93s at your Jeep and Eagle dealer today.
See your local Jeep and Eagle dealer.
We have a go for engine start. The engines ignite, the ground shakes, and the space shuttle Columbia roars into the sky. A flawless launch of NASA's 51st shuttle mission. Tonight, the astronauts are orbiting the Earth, the start of a 10-day mission. The highlight of the mission will be the deployment of a satellite that could help scientists predict earthquakes. As the shuttle speeds through space, it carries a sky-high Toronto Blue Jays fan. Canadian astronaut Steve McLean is on board to conduct laser experiments. He's also a big Blue Jays fan and is carrying along with him a Blue Jays ball, and he's wearing a Blue Jays baseball cap. He couldn't see the game tonight, so NASA kindly kept him posted throughout the night, including, I imagine, the bad results.
What do you mean, a $3 billion orbiter and they don't have a satellite TV set up in there? Come on. Harry Volkman is here. He's got the weather for Steve Baskerville today.
Yes, well, and we've got some warm weather here. Steve would be sorry he left town. We've got 60s after 10 o'clock.
It is great. It is just great.
It's unbelievable for this time of year. Of course, we've had a lot of cool weather, but now it's warming up again, and we'll see in a minute why we've got some of this warm weather. Let's take a look at what the temperatures are and what's coming up through this weekend. Oh, here's reporting 63 degrees right now tonight. Downtown is 67. Midway and Hammond, Indiana reports 65 degrees. The air is becoming increasingly humid as moisture from the Gulf moves up 84%. The breeze south at 9, and the pressure is still very high, 30.34. That high pressure kept the weather pleasant with just a little bit of dirt in the air today. 73 was the high temperature. That's about more than 10 degrees above normal for this time of year. Most of the days this month have been below normal. The low was 40. Sun is up at 7:14 and rises, sets at 5:57 tomorrow night. Now, the sky has been mostly clear, but the warm sun was making the temperature jump up to a record 81. This is the highest since the 19th century for this date in Minneapolis. Last time it was anywhere near this was in 1899 on this day. 84 out in Aberdeen, South Dakota. Valentine, Nebraska stopped just 4 degrees short of 90. And there's no chilly weather. Even Alaska has warmed up lately. The warm air tomorrow in the morning will be pouring in. You'll get up and there could be a little haze around, but it will be dispensed and dispersed by the sun. Southwest breezes going into the 70s in the afternoon, but watch this front. Moving in from the west, it will set up thunder showers as it plows into the increasing humidity and sets up perhaps some rush hour thunderstorms late tomorrow afternoon and evening. They will linger during the night, but then be gone as Saturday and Sunday turn out fair and cooler. And what's happening as we take a look at this big world situation, there's a gigantic storm in the Pacific. In fact, there are actually two of them. We've combined them as one. This is the Aleutian Low, and it's pumping in a lot of warm air into the United States. Its partner, its twin, is the Icelandic Low. These are the two major storm factories of the Northern Hemisphere in all seasons of the year, especially in the cool season. We'll watch them carefully all winter for you and report how they are indicating to produce storminess here as we get into the winter season. Right now, if they hold in that position, it could mean a lot of storminess once we get into November. Let's take a look right now at what AccuWeather says for tonight. Mostly clear and very mild. 60 degrees for a low. Many days this month we couldn't get that for a high. 73 will be around by lunchtime tomorrow, and in the afternoon sunning is turning into clouds, thunder showers, 58, about 68 that is by 6 p.m. And then as we go on into Saturday, we see it cool off and dry out. It will be fair and dry, about 58 both Saturday and Sunday, and early next week it'll be very pleasant as we go into standard time. That's it.
Yeah, thanks, Harry.
Elton John has raised millions of dollars over the years for AIDS awareness. But tonight, Elton says he's the victim of a vicious rumor about AIDS, and he's going to court to stop it. He's suing the television show Hard Copy for slander. This is one concert where John was helping the fight against AIDS, performing in London at a Liz Taylor AIDS benefit. But now, John's attorney says a reporter for Hard Copy claimed off the air that John has moved to Atlanta for AIDS treatment. The suit seeks at least $35 million in damages. A spokeswoman for Hard Copy says she is not aware of the lawsuit.
Sports is coming up next. Corey is here with a preview.
Yes, we are. And coming up, Linda, we will tell you about a Chicago announcing legend who's handing in his microphone. We'll tell you about that. Plus, we will introduce you to the future bench press king of the world. He's big, he's tough, he can lift your house. Just about. And he lives right here in Chicago. That and more straight ahead.
After lengthy discussions, punk rock? Classic rock? Boring rock? Classic rock? Heavy metal rock? Classic rock? Moon rock?
There are all kinds of rocks, but in Chicago, there's only one all-classic rock. 105.9 WCKG. Great classic rock, back-to-back with less talk.
During Olson...
Corey's here. The World Series come back to America, right?
Come back to America where it should be.
U.S. of A.
Darn right.
All right.
Linda not real happy about it either. She's pulling for those Jays. Well, they may yet win this sucker, but they're not going to do it up north, I'll tell you that. The Braves stave off elimination tonight. First blowout of the series, 7-2 Atlanta. The folks up north came ready to get crazy. This is Linda's sister, I believe. The pivotal moment in this one. 5th inning, 3-2 Braves. Jack Morris delivers to Lonnie Smith, and watch him sock it. Deep to right, he knows it's gone. And Joe Carter kind of tells the story right with his head buried in the wall right there. Lonnie, the same guy who was the GOAT in Game 7 last year when the Braves lost it. Certain measure of revenge, 7-2 Atlanta. We go to hockey. And the Hawks could be in some big trouble. The Devils do it to them in OT tonight. 6-5 is your final. Hawks have now just won twice in 8 games. Kind of a chippy contest. Hawks, lots of time in the box tonight. Chris Shelley, his nice little pop to the face there. Jersey scores 4 power play goals tonight. Still, Hawks put up a great fight off the third period face-off. Jeremy, the steal, moves in and scores. Beats Chris Pereira, 4-4 game, and a great finish. Final 40 seconds. Hawks down a goal. 6-on-5 out in front. That's Dirk Graham. He scores it off the assist from Roenick, and it's all even at 5 on to OT. 49 seconds into the extra period. Stefan Richer whiffs. Second crack at it and connects right through Eddie Belfort. It's all over. 6-5 Devils. Darryl Sutter's got to be feeling the heat right about now. Rest of the scoreboard, Mario Lemieux. Man, he just keeps scoring. 9-6, a hat trick for Mario tonight as they beat Detroit. The Leafs over Tampa Bay. Minnesota a winner, Vancouver, and the Flyers tie in overtime. Well, a giant voice has been silenced tonight. Hall of Fame baseball announcer Red Barber died today at his home in Florida at the age of 84. The old Redhead's play-by-play career spans some 4 decades. He was best known as the voice of the Brooklyn Dodgers. And how about the man known as the voice of Chicago racing? Phil George F. Talk about a legend here. 34 years calling races in this town. Says he'll step aside this December. We'll have to get along without this.
Here they come spinning out of the turn.
Still get a good kick at them. I love to see them coming out of the turn. I'll miss that. I really do. Because I've played to the crowd. I just miss the excitement of the race call. But I'll find some other excitement, I'm sure.
Best of luck to Phil. And did you hear about these crazy fans down in Austin, Texas? Talk about serious. Ticked off because the NBC affiliate down there, the TV station, put the Oilers game on last Sunday instead of the Cowboys game. Well, they threw eggs at the sports anchor's house, put a derogatory sign in his lawn, even sent him a death threat. Now, that's going too far because of a football game. We are 3 days away from a football game. The Bears and Packers in Green Bay, a storied rivalry, of course. Players may not fully appreciate the history here, but they do love to play at Lambeau.
I don't think there's a stadium in the country that I enjoy playing at more than Lambeau Field. So it's just great with the amount of pageantry they have there, and the fans are close to the stadium. It has that college football feel to it. So I've always been excited about playing the Packers.
All right, and public league football today, near north against Amundsen. 1 touchdown of the game. You're looking at it. Ray Ridge near north, bootlegging it works. Little cheap shot there. Come on, you can't do that. 6-2, the final near north second win on the year. And finally tonight, meet 28-year-old powerlifter Craig Tokarski from the South Side, a former 135-pound weakling. This Sunday goes after the bench press world record, 725 pounds.
When I wake up, this is what I'm thinking, and all day long, this is what I'm thinking, and then when I go to bed, this is what I'm thinking. So it's like a 24-hour day job to me.
Can anybody do this really and truly if they want to work hard?
It's basically what they have to have is hard. And if they got the drive to do it, they'll do it. You know, that's for sure. And I believe that in anything. If you want it bad enough, you'll do it.
That was beautiful. Beautiful.
661 pounds, that lift right there. Give you an idea how strong this guy is. The strongest bear, Steve McMichael and John Wojciechowski, the strongest bears this year, 500 pounds, some 200 pounds less.
And he's going to go for 700?
730, actually, I believe, is the lift he's attempting on Sunday, which would be the best ever in the history of a bench press.
Thanks, Corey. Coming up next, see how a simple physical turned into a very hairy experience at Busch Gardens in Florida.
Now, all over the world, the sisters and mothers and best friends waiting to hear from you can hear from you for a lot less. Introducing...
Definitely.
Finally tonight, the patient was drugged and carried into the operating room, carefully placed on the examining table for a detailed physical. But the patient goes ape and the physical gets a little hairy, literally. Meet 15-year-old Lash, a silverback western lowland gorilla. He is the newest addition to Busch Gardens in Tampa, Florida. But before he could join the rest of the gorillas, he had to get a physical. His blood pressure and heartbeat were checked. After he's given the okay, he'll be introduced to the others.
That's our news for tonight. I'm Lester Holt.
And I'm Linda McLennan. Thanks for making us your choice for news for all of us. Good night.